Hello and welcome to Cosmic Meditations. Today we are discussing something that should matter to all of us. Creating alignment in our energetic center. As we align our energy, we rise through the ceiling of what is possible for our reality. At a higher frequency, we are able to draw in that cosmic intelligence through those flow-based actions and flow-based thoughts. This creates a higher level of creativity, which we can use as innovative solutions for the changing dynamics of our culture. As we activate our heart energy, there is a potential for creating a new resonance field in the collective consciousness. That love fully activated can shoot far outside the human body and heal without words themselves. What are some of the potentials of higher frequency realities? You move faster, think quicker, your actions are in synchronicity. This means that without thinking, you can act with highly evolved strategies while acting at the same time, while being in a flow-based state at the same time, while all of your senses are on fire at the same time. And that is a low level frequency compared to what we can create in the future. At this time, there's been some significant drops in frequency on a collective level. This can be seen and felt in the mass amount of unresolved pain that is occurring all across the world, in the environment, in the animal consciousness, and in the human collective field of unresolved pain. All of those populations that are forgotten every day are not forgotten where it matters in our collective field. Have you ever noticed those times when you feel this overwhelming sense of depression for no reason? That is the effect of the collective field, because we are all one. And so as we hurt anyone, we're harming ourselves. As we forget anyone, that impacts us and our cells. Our cell biology is impacted by that. This exists in the oceans. Exists in the animal kingdom. Every single level of our systems, because there is no separation. That is an illusion. That is a lie. So when we live in this fear-based ego identity, we forget just how connected we really are. When we draw ourselves into that awareness, we recognize just how powerful that is. An example of how our frequency can change within moments, within seconds, is we spend all this time in resentment, in frustration, in worry, in fear, in pain, and we feel so drained, and we get all this muscle tension, and we feel really stuck in our gut, and we feel so hesitant to making any changes in our lives. And then we choose love. We choose a higher perspective. And automatically that energy starts moving through our body like this wave, this current of truth. That we are that powerful that we can change our state within that little of a time frame, when a resentment would have lasted 10 years unresolved. And perhaps never if we never resolve it in a lifetime, leading to that collective density of pain. So just think about the potential of that. What is dark matter and what is light energy? They were the elements that created the cosmos, but they were a basic form. Now what we're seeing is that fear is evolved dark matter. All of the lower level density of emotions, that is dark matter itself. So when we focus on light energy, what is that? That is evolved light energy, is love, is higher consciousness, is creativity, is joyfulness, is playfulness, is presence, is light, is silence. So as we look at these factors, how does it evolve within ourselves? Fear unresolved in ourselves becomes magnified over time. The densities grow. That is true within us, and it is true of the universe as well. The same is true of love, except love operates at a faster frequency, whereas dark matter operates at a low frequency. That means it moves very slow, as if your whole body, the system, was stuck in mud. The energy cannot get through. So you cannot think clearly. All you see is a pinprick of potential, and you don't believe even that you can do that in those survival states. That is survival state. What we want to create in this is an ascended state. And how we do that is through moving through that energy into the higher places, into that love, feeling that love for everything, seeing love in everything, hearing love in everything, speaking love in everything, embodying love in our whole being. And we move up and we speak that love and we activate our heart chakra. And we spend that time listening to our inner voice and that intuition, and we're activating that third eye. And we empty everything of the lower self to receive that higher guidance from the consciousness itself. And that is when we create spontaneous, dynamic, explosive change for not just us, but for the evolution of our species, for the evolution and the restoration of in the environment and the animal consciousness as well. So what are the potential damages created through lower density energies? Right now, time, you may have noticed, is skipping backwards. That's because the level of darkness is too high. There's too much unresolved pain and fear. That is leading the universe backwards, reverse. If you notice, there's examples of this. The lifespan of a human now dies younger than in the past, where we were always moving higher in age. We have many more diseases than we used to have because of lifestyle diseases and too much dark matter energy that is not resolved. All of the cultural trauma that is not resolved, the gender issues that is not resolved, the childhood traumas that is not resolved, or the death of all the 70% of animal life that is not resolved. The fact that the environment is on the brink. These are all elements that prove that dark matter is out of control, and what we need to do is turn it back the other way now. We need to activate unlike we ever have before. But it is so simple to do. It is the easiest way, because the higher way is the faster way to grace, to freedom, to a limitless vision of manifesting a reality that is highest imagination. This is what we are doing now. So as you look at the energetic system of the body, everybody, that mirrors the collective field that all has a part to play in that. So that is what we can all do to be the change we want to see in the world. Become that love. It's so easy to do, and it would change your whole frequency within a matter of minutes. Postpone that guilt, that fear, all of that for tomorrow. Leave it there for tomorrow. Today is a day of love and celebration. Let today be a day where we all come together in love. Love wherever you are, whether it's at work, with your children, even more. Tell everybody how much they matter to you. See them, hear them, tell you love you. Do affirmations, celebrations, reclamations of love today in everything that you do. Focus on everything with that element, that graceful, gentle element of love in everything that you do, in everything that you are. And see the beauty of you as a star in the cosmos. As we look at the comparison between us and the ecosystem of the universe, it makes sense that in the ocean, if 1 degree of difference can make such a catastrophic change, that of course if the earth is out of balance based on too much dark matter energy, based on too much unresolved pain and fear, that single planet could send a ripple, a wave of consequence through the universe. So, but we have power to change that with these simple things. Changing systems to be more holistic, healing, restorative healing as opposed to punishment, for example. Changing how we interact with each other, seeing each other's inner child, seeing the wounding instead of they're bad, I don't like them, I hate them, feeding all of those things. Instead, how is that inner child wounding showing up for you today? And how can you speak to that pain and help that pain to go away? Or even sit with that pain with them for a minute, so they feel accepted and that it's okay. How is that going to be so different than compete, fight, force, conflict? We don't need so many things. Why can we not communicate our needs, our issues when it comes to war, as opposed to diving into war? What would happen if instead of trying to get more, we started coming from an equal perspective of how we can share resources and help one another? Would that not prevent war? If we were to offer help for their need, if they were struggling to feed themselves, what would that do? Would that not disarm all of that need for war and prevent the all loss reality of war? That no matter if you win, you always lose, because it does not just affect the soldiers, it affects everybody at home and then every generation after that. And so we have so much collective war unresolved pain. So we need to correct this with this way. What about the school systems that disempower the children's voice? What about this? Not allowing them to make their own decisions. How would it be for a child to feel like their voice mattered and mattered big? Providing grounding tools so that they didn't have to feel those trauma reactions. What would it be like to offer an idea to give them to choose their own assignment they want to work on, to create intrinsic motivation and internal voice, an internal belief that they feel like they could do anything? What would that be? How would that look? What would it be like to try to consciously heal the environment through replenishing resources as you take them? And that must be a new law. Yes, every time you take and cause harm, you've got to repair that harm, equal measure. Justice for the environment. Yeah. And you focus on the animal consciousness. How is it okay that 70% of the animals are dead, extinct? How can we start to replenish what we take? By creating farms to then give back to the oceans through the eggs and everything like that, to restore that balance to the ecosystem of the ocean, for example. There are so many different areas that we could work on to create more peace and balance and harmony, and so many opportunities to do this. If we step away from that ego, fear-based mentality and instead choose equality. What is good for everybody is good for us, because we are all one, all connected where it matters, regardless of the titles, regardless of the credentials. We are all the same in our heart. If we come from this place, if we come from this space, we are all one. And we've already won. So we can turn that dial back in the right way. And not only that, do I believe that we can start to move forward through time and space to that reality much faster. Because the light way is always the fast way. When we get rid of that heavy density of weight, we are on our way. We're already there. We already made it. We've manifested that reality. And so just for today, let today be a celebration of love in every way that you can think of. Spread your signature of love wherever you go today. Visit nature, sit on the grass, listen to frequency music all day, be in blissful states. Listen to others, speak your truth, write about your purpose, do some artwork, run. That cardio activates your heart. Do some meditation. Do some breathing, do some vibrational practices. Do everything you can think of, and we can make a massive jump, all of us, all in one day. And if we can all do that, then what can we do tomorrow? And what can we do the next day? And what can we do a month from now? And we'll be moving forward through time and space, through raising our frequency through the roof, through empowerment, not being held down and retracting in pain. Just for today. Thank you.